So this came out that FTX was putting, Alameda Research was putting FTT as an asset on their balance sheet, and like I think it was a very high percentage. I think it was like over 50% of their assets, possibly 80% of their assets, were tokens that were created or like that Sam Bankman-Fried was heavily involved in their development. So essentially, they printed assets on their balance sheet out of thin air, and they went to other hedge funds to get or creditors to get loans and investments and things like that. Which I don't know. I mean, I don't want to, it's nothing's conclusive yet. This is like a very recent development. So when CZ heard this, he announced on Twitter that we have $500 million worth of FTT token that we got from it was basically when it was from their initial they invested in FTX in the beginning, and then they I don't know how you call it, but like they separated. So like part of the deal was they would get FTT tokens. Right. So CZ announced like we're going to start selling it. So granted, he said we're not going to sell it all right away. We're going to do it over time so we don't crash the price, because that would obviously be bad for crypto. So here's the question. So there's a little bit tinfoil hat, but do you think that? And he also mentioned that like a kind of a backhanded comment saying we don't take kindly to people that lobby behind their backs. He actually said that on Twitter. So do you think CZ was trying to FUD the FTT token to force this cascade so he could come in and buy out FTX and consolidate power and further reinforce his grip on the crypto ecosystem? What do you think about that?
He definitely had some leverage, and he used it. Like the first thing that went through my mind when I heard CZ talk about this today, I was like, "Whoa! I bet they had like some deal. They had some partnership going on, and Binance got they got all the leverage, and then they said, okay, if you don't, maybe they wanted FTX or SBF to do something that they didn't want to do, and they're like, all right, you don't want to do it, all right, we're gonna mess up that price for you. We're gonna do FTT type stuff to you, and then we're gonna acquire you. So it does, yeah. Tinfoil hat, pure speculation. I could totally see a conspiracy of like them trying to take over more crypto companies like that and setting themselves up to have that kind of leverage. And I don't know, if I'm honest, it's like knowing SBS views and all the stuff, the people railing against him for all the regulation. Maybe we want CZ over him. Maybe we want the Wild West Binance here. Maybe we want them more in control than SBF. I don't know. I think this is somebody tweeted about Game of Thrones type stuff. I think this is like a reshuffling. There's a reshuffling of some of the leaders in the industry right now, and hopefully that's a good thing for us. I mean, I'm not saying I like Binance snatching up huge American companies like that. And like I said, I don't know if even the deal is going to go through, if regulators have any leverage on people too. But SBF was not making a lot of friends with all the regulation stuff that he's been advocating recently. So maybe it's a good thing long term.
Yeah, and I mean, talk about taking advantage of an opportunity like CZ. Seemingly, I mean, nothing's conclusive, and we're gonna have to wait a little bit. Time's really gonna tell exactly what went on, but it seems like he really saw an opportunity. He's like, look, I could really, he was more like the man of the people, like Sam Bankman-Fried. He saw that Sam Bankman-Fried had a bad rep. Like people, BitBoy and a lot of big influencers were getting fed up with him and his efforts to further regulation on DeFi and things. And he's like, hey, if I do this, I could really basically take this guy out and not get flack for it, because he already has such a bad rep. Like people, and it might even help promote his reputation as a savior for crypto.
I think that's even a side story too, that if you think about would the coming regulation that was proposed that SBF was a part of or whatever, would that hurt Binance's business? If it would, that would be the story, right? Okay, you're gonna either stop doing this or we're gonna take you out. Boom. Like I could totally see that happening. So, and then on the side, I would say, okay, this can be good. This is a good time. He's weak right now. This is a good time for me to get back into, the U.S. maybe, stuff like that. So I think I could just see that as a power move of, hey, don't hurt our business model. We want to, maybe they want to come back to the U.S. eventually, and they want more. They don't like what you're saying. So yeah, I could totally see that.
Okay, so if I could get a little more conspiratorial, and obviously none of this is proof. So basically, the balance sheet was leaked to CoinDesk. Do you think maybe Binance was involved in that leaking of the balance sheet?
Well, I think anyone who wanted to see FTX fail could have leaked that. Binance seems to have a vested interest in overtaking that business. So that's not the craziest thing I would hear. I'll say that.